evening, viewers. Welcome to Climate Youth News at COP. We bring you news from the 27th World Climate Change Conference in Egypt and provide you with the most important information of the day, the latest developments and voices from the field. We start with a first contribution on the topic of the day.
Hi, I'm Nicole Ignacio from Philippines, and I'm activist, change maker, and founder of Future Generation. And I will talk about what is biodiversity. Biodiversity is the variety of all living things on Earth. Biodiversity is the essential for the processes that supports all life on Earth, that provide us the air we breathe and the food we eat. Without a wide range of animals, plants, and microorganisms, we cannot have a healthy ecosystem. Biodiversity is maintaining the balance of the Earth. Biodiversity helps fight disease. Biodiversity is important for people and survival of the humanity. Biodiversity ensures health and food security. Biodiversity supports humans and societal needs. Biodiversity protects us. Biodiversity provides livelihoods, including food and nutrition security, energy, development of medicines and pharmaceuticals. Conservation of biodiversity is vital for maintaining the Earth's environment and sustaining life on the planet. Nature plays a crucial role in the fight against climate change. Nature and biodiversity are beneficial to quality of life. Conservation of biodiversity is important for the survival of living beings on Earth. Biodiversity conservation protects all living beings on Earth. Biodiversity is affected by climate change with negative consequences for human well-being. But biodiversity also makes an important contribution to both climate change mitigation and adaptation. It is now widely recognized that biodiversity and climate change are interconnected. Without biodiversity, our entire support system will collapse. So we need to take care and protect it for the better future for all.
After this brief overview, we can now dive deeper into the COP. The following article is on what happened today.
Crunch time is approaching at COP, and participants are getting nervous if it will be possible to strike an ambitious deal by the end of the week. Currently, a cover decision is being drafted highlighting the main political outcomes. It seems that the text is not yet advanced and parties are very late in the process. Activists demand the feature of a full phase-out of fossil fuels. After the last year in Glasgow, parties could only settle for a phase down. Some parties argue for not even mentioning 1.5 in the cover decision, but refer to the Paris Agreement temperature goal instead. Furthermore, a group of oil-producing countries also pushes not to welcome the IPCC report this year, a dangerous disconnect from scientific evidence. "I've never had such a bad feeling," said Swiss diplomat Franz Perez. And an ambitious deal is needed. A high-level presentation of the UNEP emission gap report showed once again how far we lag behind the 1.5-degree pathway and climate justice. Today was Biodiversity Day. The climate crisis and the loss of biodiversity are deeply interlinked, and process in both areas comes with a lot of synergies. We need a Paris moment for biodiversity, says Elizabeth Maruma Mrema, the UN's head of biodiversity. Indigenous people and their knowledge play a crucial role in protecting global diversity. The world really needs to know that our people have never contributed anything to climate change, but were the first on the hit list. The world needs to know that there are people like us around the world who need help from the world to help us live an ancient culture, says Jesse Mosby from the Torres Strait Aid from Messick Island. In September, they took legal action against the Australian government for violating their rights to culture and live by failing to adequately address climate change. Turkey announced a new NDC, a 47% reduction of emissions by 2030, but using a business-as-usual scenario as a baseline. So the new NDC is actually not even more ambitious and far from what is needed. Turkish NGOs are asking for 35% by 2030, but in absolute terms. Egypt and the European Union have struck a deal to export 15% of Egypt's gas to Europe. To free up gas for export, Egypt is increasing its use of mazout, a heavy fuel oil with harmful impact on health and environment, according to Climate Home News. It is one of 12 gas deals before or during COP, as counted by the think tank GSSC. It's another example of the harmful impacts of the current dash for gas, a serious threat to Paris goals. Europe wants to turn Africa into its gas station, warns Mohamed Edo from Power Shift Africa. The short-term demand for gas might leave stranded assets and dependence in African countries. Many civil society stakeholders call for better decisions and actions for Africa to leapfrog into renewable energies. Brazil's new president Lula attended COP today. I will have more conversations with world leaders in a single day than Bolsonaro did in 4 years. We will reposition Brazil at the center of international geopolitics, Lula da Silva said during a meeting with legislators in Brasilia. He is expected to renew the country's ambitions toward a stronger environmental policy. This U-turn comes along with rumors that Brazil might propose hosting one of the upcoming COPs. We will update you on his speech tomorrow.
We have already learned a lot about the COP. We now switch to our editorial team on site, which is coming up with an exciting interview. Dear editors, who have you brought in with you this time?
My name is Mahmoud Nadi. I'm a researcher at the Center for Development in Bonn University, and I'm the land use lead with the UN Climate Champions team.
Why is it important to talk about biodiversity at COP?
It is core. Without nature, there is no climate. So we couldn't reach climate actions without preserving and restoring our nature. You know, like IPBES report, for instance, this was information I was talking about today, mentions that 1 million species out of the entire 1.7 million species will be degraded by the coming years if we continue as the business as usual scenario. So valuing the role of nature and biodiversity and ecosystem services to absorb carbon and in the rest to zero is very vital. 24% of decarbonization and offsetting is coming from land. So it is vital to include biodiversity in COP.
And how is the topic covered this year?
This year is very well covered. The Egyptian presidency have set a certain day, like one full day for biodiversity, which is really good because they already have discussed a lot of initiatives. And for instance, this year, the Egyptian presidency with the IUCN and other government, including Germany, have announced what's called ENACT, Enhancing Nature-Based Solution for Climate Transformation, which is an initiative to ensure the good delivery for nature-based solution actions on ground with stakeholders to ensure the highest level of restoration of ecosystem services.
How could biodiversity be more included at COPs?
Definitely, first of all, as Egypt done, including one thematic day for COP, have emphasizing the role of nature for climate, finance for nature, for climate action. This is very, very important. Accelerate finance and investors' actions into nature-based solutions. So many actions could be done from the non-stakeholders part, and for the stakeholders part, I guess they already will include lots of nature-based solutions in their agenda. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for this powerful and important perspective. We, as the Global North, bear the main responsibility for the climate crisis and should finally live up to it. That was our today's broadcast from the 27th World Climate Change Conference in Egypt. We hope you will take something away with you. Tune in again tomorrow when it's Climate Youth News at COP. We will now follow up with a live Q&A with our team on the ground, so stay tuned and ask your question.